So it is hashtag Blue Friday, and as you know, hashtag Blue Friday is sponsored by my friends at All American Auto Group. Shop today at allamericanautogroup.com. I want to really thank them, especially because in this climate, in this anti-cop climate we have in the media, the anti-cop climate we have in just in culture today, when you get a stand-up organization like All American Auto Group, Subaru, Ford, these guys are patriots, and they get it's a cop on the other end of 911. It's not a radical activist. It's certainly not a news reporter. So for this hashtag Blue Friday, I want to welcome two very special guests to the show, Detective Chris Blystein and Stephanie Samuels. And we're talking about an organization. The organization is called COPLINE. And this is a confidential 24-hour hotline that is answered by retired law enforcement officers who have gone through vetting and training to be good listeners. This is about helping cops. And we hear all too often. I spoke in Camden County and Cinnaminson last night, and I talked to several folks about the crisis facing a lot of law enforcement officers. People do not realize the hell that some of these cops go through. Let me tell you something. The average person could not handle walking into a house and discovering a dead 2-year-old or a wife beaten up so badly that she's unrecognizable. You can't imagine the pressure. And then when you leave the job, you got one duty, right? Do the job and then get home to your family. And then you get hammered every day with irresponsible clickbait headlines that make cops look bad day after day. Enough. We need to come together and support our cops. So today's hashtag Blue Friday honoree are the great folks at COPLINE, and Stephanie and Detective Blystein. Welcome to New Jersey 101.5. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for having me.
Good morning. Thank
you.
The
bill used to envision a 10-cent fee.
Sorry about that. Stephanie, let me ask you first. Tell me about, you founded COPLINE. It's a confidential 24-hour hotline for cops. Why did you start it?
Founded it 13 years ago and went live actually nationally after the July 7th shooting, actually after the June 12th shooting of in Florida for Pulse, and then right after that was July 7th for the Dallas shooting. Founded it for many reasons. There was no hotline that was truly confidential for police officers, and cops are a little jiggy about seeking help to begin with.
I know.
And the fear of them calling a hotline and somebody sending help for them, a rescue, or their lines being pinged or what have you, it scares the crap out of them.
Yeah. Well, Stephanie, you're right. I've had this conversation with some cops about, when they ask for help, their biggest fear is they're going to lose their job. They're going to lose the badge and the gun, and they're going to say, no, I'm not crazy. I need a little support. Detective, let me ask you, what's it like as an officer, as a law enforcement officer? What's the climate like, and how important is something like this to your guys?
Bill, you wrapped it all up in a nice bow there. You can't put a value on this type of a service. What we go through is just brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. And to have this in place, to be able to get this off your chest and vent, and have somebody like Stephanie, who's an angel without wings on this planet, is just it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing, right, Chris? Like you talk to cops, and I do a lot of these award ceremonies, and last night it really hit me. I went through because you read every story so everybody can understand why the award's being given out, and some of the stuff is brutal and gruesome.
Amazing.
I mean, wow, right?
Very difficult to process, and for us as cops, when you try and convey that to a civilian of things that you've seen,
mm-hmm.
and you handle it like it's nothing, like you don't even miss a step.
Yeah.
People look at you like you have three heads.
I know.
They say, how can you possibly do that? And you say, it's my job. It's what I do.
Yeah.
It's what I signed up for.
Well, and as a detective, this the event last night with the Camden County Detectives Association, I mean, detectives see some of the worst stuff that's out there because you're coming in after the fact to figure out, who brutalized the 18-month-old baby whose decomposed body you're finding in a garage. I mean, I don't think people realize that's tough on anyone. And then you got to go back and do your job the next day.
Yes, like nothing happened.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
Or
Yeah.
or even
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Or even worse, Phil, and Chris knows this. Now go home to your own 18-month-old baby.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
try and connect and
That's
be human. You see, people forget it's not the uniform. They took this job. Nobody really explained to them the psychological effects that it was going to have and how one is stoic at work and then has to reconnect at home to have a healthy marriage, be a dad, go out, play catch with a kid, when you know that the parent you left last night will never play catch with that child again.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you something, Stephanie. What you've done is incredible. The fact that it's been going for 13 years. How do police officers who are listening now, because I speak to two audiences, right? So the cops, we want them to know this is a confidential way for you to get some help and talk to someone. And for the public, you got to know that when you're pissed off because you got pulled over on 295 or on Route 1 or on Route 80, you don't know what that cop just came from and what he just dealt with and saw. So lighten up a little bit. If you're speeding, you're going to get the ticket. Stop complaining. I just it's enough already. And but for this, real quick as I wrap up, how do police officers and law enforcement officers get in touch with COPLINE?
They just call 1-800-267-5463, which spells out the word COPLINE.
All right. I will post that to our website. I will tweet that out. We'll share it on Facebook. We'll make sure people know. Stephanie, God bless you for what you're doing. Detective Bleistein, thank you for everything you're doing, and I really appreciate the hard work that you do. My best to all the guys in Montgomery as you take on the job one more day. Keep going. All right,
thanks, Phil. And if you could just get
much.
the word out for the Run for the Call at midnight New Year's Eve, we're at Point Pleasant, and that's how we raise our money for COPLINE, because we do not have any government money, so there's no fear of an officer calling these lines. We don't have any reporting to government agencies.
I will post that link. I will encourage folks, and as we get closer to New Year's Eve, I will talk about it a couple more times. You got it. Don't worry. As long as I've got this mic, you've got an advocate, so don't worry about it. I'm on it.